treat for mites each year. I have to show you this because I just got this. I'm excited to use it. But before that, I've always just used a cup with the bottom cut out and a piece of netting underneath it, the rubber band, just cheap, easy, Randy Oliver 101 mite counting. I have 20 hives, so I start testing and I make sure I test at least 5. I've never made it to 5 without having a mite bomb. As soon as I get to the hive that has more than 10, 12, then I think, okay, I've got mites, I need to test. And so far I've never had it where I've made it through more than 5 without finding a hive that's got mites. And if you have one in your apiary, you've got them everywhere. So I test until I find the mite bomb. I'm looking forward to that day when I don't find that mite bomb, but it's not happened yet. I test in January or February as soon as it gets some warm days, because I want to have enough time to test and treat before March, before a lot of the flowers start to bloom. So I want them to go into that honey flow without mites. And then I'm going to test again as soon as we take the honey off, so in July. And then I test again in October, November, depending on the weather, because I want to have enough time again to treat before I put them to bed for the winter, because I want them to go into winter without having a full heavy load of mites on them. Sometimes when we have that everybody count your mites day, if it works into my schedule, I might count some mites that day too, just to turn it in for fun. But usually my schedule is January, February, depending on the weather, as soon as we take the honey off, and then around October, November. So just 3 times a year, but I think that's enough. Well, I haven't lost too many hives, so I think I'm doing all right. And then how do you treat? You know, the IPM, right? The Integrated Pest Management Triangle, where you do everything you can at the base that is environmental and mechanical. And so you start out with good stock. A lot of people use the screen bottom boards. I don't do those. I tried because it was all the rage when I first started. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But the efficacy rate is only 2% or less. And every old beekeeper that I talked to laughed at me and said, you know, do you live in a barn? How do you keep the air conditioner or the heater going when the screen door is open? So yes, same thing. We went to solid bottom boards. So anyway, you do all the things at the bottom of that pyramid before you work your way up into the chemicals. As for chemicals, I use the oxalic acid drip. I've used Hop Guard 2. I've used Formic Acid Pro, the Abogard Pro, I think it's called. So all of the essential oil kind of, nothing that's at the very top of the pyramid. I don't proactively treat, and I don't use the harshest chemicals. I only go up to the essential oil type chemicals, the stuff with thyme in it. I think it's thymol, stuff like that. And I change my my treatment all the time. I don't want to be anybody that contributes to the mites being resistant to any one chemical. So I change it up throughout the year and then each year. So I have 3 or 4 of them that I rotate through all the time. That's how I take care of my mites.